Donnie, does price exceed average total cost?
Yes.
Okay, when we're looking at price, it's where MC equals MR here, it's greater than average total cost, so one's right, right? Josh, are economic profit zero?
No,
No, are you making or losing money?
you're making.
You're making, right, because ATC is below MC equals MR, so two is one. Seamus, does marginal cost equal average total cost?
Yes.
MC equals MR? There's ATC.
Yeah.
That looks like equal to you?
No, I thought you said yes if it exceeded. Oh, my bad.
No, okay. Thomas, new firms are likely to enter the market in the long run?
Yeah, because variable costs, or no, total cost is under.
Right, so you're making money, firms are gonna enter, so therefore the, what do we got here? C?
See.
C, okay. All right, any questions on that? All right, let me just do one thing. All right, this week on the graphic quiz, the thing that, what was the first? Was, what's the first thing, a price ceiling? All right, best producing consumer surplus before the ceiling, okay? Now, deadweight loss is something that, because people are driven out of the market, consumers, because of the increase in height, consumer and producer surplus is going to decrease. Okay, now. I don't even know, oh, a lot of people had it either here, deadweight loss, or here. But neither of those decreases consumer or producer surplus. So it can't be in those spots. It's here. Okay, and the total surplus is decreased because, as I said before, in this state, consumers are driven out of the market because prices go up. Okay, so I understand that you could, like, if you memorize it, you can make a mistake. But if you understand what deadweight loss is, it's going to reduce consumer and producer surplus. I think it'll help you find the right spot at the end. Okay. And it seemed, and this wasn't the only class that did it, that a lot of you, someone like said to someone, here's where you put it, because like 5 people had it in the same spot. So I put the graphs up there so you can see them in the graphic, please. So, all right, any other questions? Let us remember in the Holy Presence of God, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, thank you for a nice weekend. Hopefully we continue to have this good weather and that we were able to relax, recharge, and get ready for the week ahead. Saint John the Baptist, LaSalle, live Jesus in our hearts. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. Nothing. I think I went over this. Did all this. Geez. We did all this at lecture. I just got to get us to our spot. You take out the notes we had in lecture? That'd be good. All right, tomorrow, chapter 14 is due. Thursday, I'll review at 7:45. I'll do the same review Friday at 7:45. I did a breakdown of chapter 13 and 14's practice test, so I give the answers. And I think for both of them, there's a couple of scenarios in the practice test that I project what could be on the regular test. And then we'll have the quiz, Friday. I think it's 15 questions, 22 minutes. We only have 30 minutes that day because we have mass, in the morning. Okay, we should be done with chapter 14, actually, live in class, or covered everything, by tomorrow. All right, there's also the practice quizzes posted, this practice quiz, the 13-minute practice quiz for 14. Okay. Is this in your notes?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you a couple of minutes, why don't you just do it? It went crazy.
It's good.
There you go. Sorry. I'll give you another minute. Sean, short or long run,
Short,
and how did you know that?
because at MC, the MR-ATC is not full to
Okay, great. Johnny, are we making or losing money?
losing money.
We're losing money. Robbie, what will firms do if we're losing money?
Exit.
They're gonna exit, okay. If they exit, then how am I gonna show that on my graph? Okay, supply ships left. Now, this is how I do it. I'm not saying I have a. I know I want to get the curve down here, so I just dotted across to the demand curve. And then I know I gotta shift supply that way. So therefore, it's even. A couple of you gotta make sure the price, that the price takers, that the dotted lines, where they're even. So I'm gonna do what been said, and I put the loss box here, I should go. MC equals MR, you just take that line up to the ATC and across, that gives you the loss box. We're gonna shift supply to the left. Okay, got a new equilibrium. Remember, firms are price takers, so that's gonna go across, and we're back to zero economic profit. And then it's Mr. Dillard, MRD1, AR paper. Okay? Now, I think I said it in lecture, but it's worth repeating. On multiple choice questions, be wary of what they're asking. Because what happens to price and quantity in the industry? Thomas?
Prices increasing, but quantities decreasing.
Okay. But in the firm, yes. So depending on what they ask, you will have two different questions. All right, because there's less firms, each firm now has to do more. So that's why it increases in the firms. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, and there's zero economic profit. We're good. All right, going from the long run to the long run. Now, these are constant cost industries. What do they mean by constant cost? You notice we have not been moving the ATC. The ATC is staying in a similar place. I think tomorrow what we'll do is we'll show you an increase in cost industry when you manipulate. Now, I'd say I've been doing it 15 years. There's been one side-by-side perfect competition question that hasn't been constant cost. So most of the time they are, but from long run to long run. All right. Did I give you a spot for this in your notes? And did I say if demand increases? Okay, let's play it out. Increase demand and then get back to the long run. Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And label everything up, get a new pricing. You're down here, you start. You good?
Yeah. We'll go back to the concept of seeing she's like, first tell me them.
Ah, all you need to know is ATC's, the cost is staying the same.
And then it's kind of industry, right? The price of the- Like that. You just freeze.
Yeah. We'll do that. So Donnie, first move here, what are we gonna do?
Well, I should.
Okay, and you're right. So demand's gonna shift, so now I'm gonna bring it across, right? I've got a new equilibrium. Here, I've got a new price. Xander, at the new price 20, am I making or losing money? You're making, okay. And you know that because price is greater than ATC. Now, a firm's gonna, and if I was doing a profit box, which I don't know that I do, the MC equals MR here, I take it to the ATC and across, and that's my profit box. Xander, a firm's gonna enter or exit. How am I gonna show that?
By bringing the price to the lowest for it. To back to where it was.
How am I gonna get the price there? I can't just like yank it down, I mean. All right, you said firms are gonna enter, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have more or less firms in the market.
For more,
Okay, so how do I show that?
so,
Increasing what?
Increasing more. So.
Shift what to the right? No. More firms are gonna enter, right? So don't worry about that. Firms are gonna affect industry, right? Because there's more firms. So if more firms. First of all, is this gonna be a supplier demand shift?
More first is large.
Okay, so which way is supply gonna shift? Okay, good job. Oh, I did do. I didn't realize I did the product. Okay. Sense equals MR down to ATC and across. Then, as Xander said, I'm gonna shift supply to the right and I'm back. Now. So what happens? Let's take the short run first. In the industry, what happened to price and quantity? Mr. McGregor?
If the or price stays the same, but quantity decrease. For demand, price increase and quantity increase.
So they both increased in the industry, right? In the firm, they both increased too, right? Now, Josh, what happened to price and quantity in the industry in the long run? Is what?
No longer, sorry, it's gonna like go back to,
So price is the same, what happened to quantity?
quantity goes up. Goes back to.
No, because you're now here,
Okay, so quantity goes up.
okay? So you gotta be really careful on these. Are they asking you about the short or the long run? Are they asking you about industry in the firm? Now, Josh, to your point, in the firm, we got back to everything being the same. Okay? We good? Sandra, you good?
Yeah.
You look like you had a question. Okay. All right. Okay, so quantity in the industry. Okay, so this went to 7,000, that stayed the same. This is just showing you how we got to 7,000. Okay, now. Because you come back to this price all the time. They will say the long run market supply curve is horizontal. Because you're coming back to this 15. So the supply curve always ends up on this. So in the long run, and this is kind of one of their tricky questions. In the long run, in the industry or the market, they will say supply is horizontal. Okay, because no matter what, you're coming back. And I don't know, am I gonna have a lost money? But even when you lose money, you're coming back to this in the long run. All right. What do we got here? All right, we have demand decreases. Now, you got a spot for it? Was it an empty spot we could do? Okay, let's do demand decreases. Let's get some more practice, and that's all. Very good, just tell me when you're ready. I'm ready. Mr. McGregor, short or long run here?
There's a long run.
Okay, and we're assuming that because ATC said zero economic profit, right? All right, if demand decreases, what happens to price and quantity in the industry in the short run?
The industry report run, price and quantity will both decrease.
Okay, because you're shifting demand. Okay, so you got price and quantity decreasing in the industry and you have it decreasing in the firm, right? Okay, good. Ryan. Now at $10, am I making or losing money? I'm losing money. Mr. Wolf, if I'm losing money, a firm's gonna enter or exit.
Firm will exit.
They're gonna exit. Jack C, how am I gonna show that exit?
That's 5 over a lot.
Okay. All right, again, I should make a better point of this. At MC equals MR, I take it up to the ATC, that's my loss box. Jack said firms are gonna exit, he's shifting supply to the left. Okay, notice, price gets back to where we started, but quantity is down. And we're back to zero economic profit, okay? But again, we're back on this same curve, and that's why they say supply is horizontal. Any questions there? Now, the typical thing is they're gonna give you a situation. I'm just gonna start you back here. And they're gonna say something like income in the United States doubles. All right, so you're gonna know, or income in the United States decreases. So you're gonna know that demand shifts left. But they're not gonna put the graphs there. And then they're gonna ask you what happens to like price and quantity in the short run, or what happens to price in the short run and price in the long run. And you're gonna have to do the graphs. Okay, don't try to memorize them, just do the graphs and get yourselves done.
And like, if we're not given the graphs, should we assume that it's already at equilibrium and then like?
Yeah, because they have to say to you, like, in the long, they're not gonna say it's that, they might say in the long run. Side by side, constant cost curve in the long run, income in the United States decrease, like that. Okay,
Would we have a question where you state like it's either inferior or normal good, and then you'll say like income decreases or increases?
yeah, now, if they don't say anything, assume it's a normal good,
Okay.
but they definitely could say it's an inferior good and do that. That's a good heads up, by you. Okay, I think the trouble people get into is not graphing and not reading specifically. Is it the industry of the firm, or is it the short and the long run? Okay, because it seems like you know how to graph. All right. There's again, that's what I did before. All right, some boards, couple of practice multiple choice, then maybe if we have time, we can try to do that. Okay. A constant cause perfectly competitive gadget industries in the long run. An increase in the number of consumer gadgets will most likely result in. In mind, just Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was just wondering. Yeah. Okay. All right, what do we got here? I got some dogwoods as I'm walking around, some dogwoods, some dogwoods, okay? By the way, Josh, you asked how they would phrase it. This is kind, and it is D for dogwood, right? Okay. And you get your shift in demand, you get an increase in both price and quantity. And by the way, even if, and I don't know, am I gonna get a snap or not? Even if you do shift your supply to get back in the industry, you have an increase in quantity, even in the long run there. All right, next up, if a perfectly competitive industry is in a long run equilibrium, which of the following is most likely true? What do we got here? I got some broccoli, some Caroline, some Caroline. All right. If you're in the long run, your firms are operating at minimum average total cost. Because in the long run, there you are, so B is not correct. So firms are earning a return on investment that is equal, so their total revenue is equal to their total opportunity cost, zero economic profit. Not a real big fan of the way that it's phrased, but I think if you go for A, B, D, and E, consumers can anticipate, I mean, there's nothing there. Some factors are not returning, well, they are at zero economic profit. Individual firms, some firms could expect, you only leave the industry if you were losing money. So maybe if you knock them all out, you get there. Okay. Did we did this once before, right? I'll give you a minute, go. Doesn't matter.
Good profit economic in this case.
Always unless otherwise specified. Brendan, after reading the question, what can I eliminate immediately?
The market obstacles.
Okay, I'll take that. That's not what I would do, but go, tell me why.
Because, we know that it's long run equilibrium, and we know that the total cost is 100, so we know that the marginal cost has to also be 100.
All right, so these two are out.
Yes,
Would you say if it's the long run, I could also knock out negative and positive profit?
yes.
So you're left with D as your answer. Okay? Any questions on those? All right, can we do A and B on the drill today? If you look on the back with an FRQ, we do 1A and B to start. Frank, did you say you want to do it up here on the board? Okay, come on. Yeah, good. Yeah. Just gotta do it, you don't have to do it. I'm sure it's- Yeah. You've done everything. You're just gonna make sure everything like. Right on the queue. Wow. Are we all up to Donnie's? Graph? Yeah. All right, so you got 4 points for this. You had a point for the industry graph labeled correctly, point for perfectly elastic, Mr. Dog, point for ATC, and a point for MC crossing ATC at its lowest. For Farmer Roy's, what is the demand curve? Yeah.
It's gonna be perfectly elastic.
And how would you explain that?
I'll basically just explain Mr. Dark and that's why, because they're all equal to each other.
I think, I think the easiest way is to just say they're a price taker. Okay, that they're a price taker.
How did you get to like? Perfectly elastic?
I mean, this is the demand curve, right? And it's perfectly allowed.
That's like his demand, so, okay. So like.
For Farmer Roy, right? That's what the question said.
Um,
For Farmer Roy, right?
that's, okay, that's, I thought that was the price line.
No, that's why it's Mr. Jones. Okay? All right, fill out your sheet. We'll do the rest of this for the drill tomorrow, CMD.